My name is Clara and I'm 32. I'm standing in my Seattle penthouse holding my sister Sadie's wedding invitation. Her cursive feels so familiar, like the notes we passed as kids. Back then, Sadie wanted my toys, my dresses, even my dreams. I thought we'd outgrown that. But now she's demanding my home for her honeymoon, twisting a promise I made to always share. I said no, and at her wedding, she slapped me in front of 200 people. The truth that unraveled shocked me. I run my fingers over the invitation's embossed flowers, their texture rough, like the unease settling in my chest. The skyline outside glitters a reminder of the life I built now under siege. Where are you watching from? Like and subscribe to hear how this betrayal changed everything. I'm sprawled on my penthouse couch, the Seattle skyline glowing through the windows. It's been a week since Sadie's wedding invitation arrived, and her request for my home still gnaws at me. I'm Clara, 32, a graphic designer who clawed my way to this place. Every corner holds memories of late nights sketching, dreaming, saving. My phone buzzes. It's Sadie, her voice bubbly announcing her engagement to Nathan, a real estate guy with a too-perfect smile. I congratulate her, my heart warm but cautious. Then she drops it. She wants my penthouse for their honeymoon. It's perfect for their Instagram vibe, she says, like it's a prop. I laugh, thinking she's joking, but her silence is heavy. I suggest a fancy hotel instead, my tone light to keep things easy. Her voice sharpens, accusing me of hoarding my success. You promised we'd share everything, she says, digging up our childhood vow. My stomach twists. I mutter something about checking my schedule and hang up my hands shaky. I stare at the framed photo on my shelf, us kids arms around each other. Was she always like this? I try to shake it off, diving into a client project, but her words loop in my head. Share everything. It was a promise made when we were little after our parents split when we only had each other. I'd give her my favorite crayons, my best sweaters, just to see her smile. Now it feels like a trap. My phone pings again. It's a text from Sadie, a screenshot of my penthouse from an online real estate listing. Found this, she writes. Looks amazing. My throat tightens. How did she even get that? I toss my phone aside, but my mind races. Is she just excited? Or is something else going on? I want to believe she's stressed, caught up in wedding fever. But that edge in her voice, it's new. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I've just ignored it too long. The city lights pulse outside their rhythm, mocking my unease, and I curl tighter into the couch. Its fabric soft, but no comfort. I call Tessa, my best friend, who's slinging coffee at a shop downtown. She's all blunt honesty, no filter. I spill everything, expecting her to laugh it off. Instead, she snorts. Sadie's always wanted what you have, Clara. Remember when she copied your portfolio for that art contest? I roll my eyes, but the memory stings. Tessa's right. Sadie didn't just copy my style. She won, and I cheered for her anyway. I tell Tessa I'm overreacting, that Sadie's my sister, my only family besides Mom. Tessa's quiet, then says, "You're too loyal for your own good. Set a boundary before she walks all over you." I hang up her words, sinking in, but I'm not ready to admit she's right. Not yet. I light a candle, its flicker unsteady like my thoughts, and try to focus on work, but Sadie's voice lingers sharp as a blade. I pace my living room, the hardwood cool under my feet. This penthouse isn't just a place. It's proof I made it despite the divorce, the lean years, the doubts. I saved for years, skipped vacations, worked weekends. Sadie knows that. She was there when I signed the papers, her eyes wide, saying she was proud. Was that a lie? I sink into my armchair, staring at the city lights. I want to call her back to ask what she really wants, but something stops me. A small nagging voice says, this isn't about a honeymoon. It's about something bigger, something I'm not ready to face. I hug my knees, wishing I could go back to when sharing was simple, when Sadie's smile didn't hide a demand. The quiet of my home feels fragile, like it's waiting for the next blow. The next morning, I'm brewing coffee, the aroma filling my penthouse when my doorbell chimes. It's Sadie, unannounced, her fiancé Nathan trailing behind. She's all smiles, hugging me like nothing's wrong. but her eyes scan my living room like she's appraising it. Nathan, in a crisp blazer, shakes my hand too firmly, his grin wide. "They're here to talk wedding plans," Sadie says, but it feels like a setup. I offer them coffee, trying to keep things light, but my chest tightens. Sadie sinks into my sofa, kicking off her shoes, and starts pointing out changes she'd make to my place. "More open space," she says, gesturing at my bookshelves. Nathan nods, suggesting I could rent it to them cheap after the wedding. My jaw clenches. This is my home, not a vacation rental. I force a smile, saying I love it as is, but Sadie's gaze sharpens like I've insulted her. Her perfume, sharp and floral, fills the room, making it hard to breathe. They ask for a tour, and before I can say no, Sadie's already wandering down my hallway, Nathan following. I trail behind, my heart pounding as she opens my bedroom door, commenting on the view. "It's perfect for us," she says, like it's already hers. Nathan chimes in, talking about how they could host influencers here. I'm speechless, my hands fidgeting. I steer them back to the living room, offering more coffee to change the subject, but Sadie's not done. She sits at my desk, flipping through a stack of mail like it's hers. I catch her eyeing my mortgage statement, her fingers lingering. "Just curious," she says when I ask, but her tone is too casual, her eyes too focused. I snatch the papers away. My voice sharper than I mean, and she laughs it off, but it's not funny. My pulse races, the room feeling smaller, her presence an intrusion I can't shake. Nathan excuses himself to take a call, leaving us alone. I try to talk about her wedding dress, anything to ease the tension, but Sadie leans in, her voice low. "You know, Clara family shares. You've got all this, and I'm starting with nothing." Her words hit like a punch. Starting with nothing, I worked nights to afford this place while she chased trends and boyfriends. I swallow my anger, reminding myself she's my sister, the one I stayed up with after Dad left, promising we'd always have each other. But her stare feels like a challenge, not a plea. I mumble something about helping with the wedding, hoping it'll soften her, but she just smirks like she's won. Her heels click on my floor as she stands, leaving a chill in the air. Later, I'm washing dishes when I notice a sticky note on my counter, scrawled with a realtor's name and number. Sadie must have left it. My blood runs cold. She's not just dreaming about my penthouse. She's planning. I call my neighbor Harold, a retired lawyer who's always out walking his dog. He's seen Sadie's car parked outside my building too often, he says, his voice gruff but kind. She's been circling Clara. Watch your back. I thank him, my mind spinning. I sink onto my couch, staring at the sticky note. This isn't about a honeymoon. Sadie wants my life, and she's not asking anymore. Have you ever had a sibling cross a line? Like if you felt this sting. The city outside hums indifferent, and I clutch the note, its edges sharp against my fingers. I'm sitting at Mom's dining table in Tacoma, the smell of her pot roast heavy in the air. It's 3 months before Sadie's wedding, and the whole family's here. Cousins, aunts, the works. I'm trying to focus on the mashed potatoes, but my stomach's in knots. Sadie's across from me, glowing in a new dress, her engagement ring catching the light. She's holding court, talking about her venue, a sprawling estate that screams money. Everyone's hanging on her words, and I'm forcing a smile, still rattled from her visit to my penthouse. Nathan's beside her, charming the room, but his eyes flick to me too often, like he's sizing me up. I shift in my seat, wishing I could disappear. Then Sadie clears her throat, her voice sweet but sharp, and says she has an announcement. My heart sinks. I know what's coming. The table's warmth feels like a trap, the clink of glasses too loud in my ears. She turns to me, her smile too wide, and says she's counting on me to gift her and Nathan my penthouse for their honeymoon. It's a family tradition, she adds, like it's something we've always done. The room goes quiet, forks pausing midair. Mom nods, her face soft, oblivious to the pressure. My cheeks burn. I stammer, saying I'm honored, but my place is booked for work. A lie that sounds weak even to me. Sadie's eyes narrow just for a second, but it's enough to make my pulse race. She laughs, saying I'm too busy being a big shot, and the table chuckles, but it's not funny. I feel like I'm on trial, accused of betraying the family for daring to say no. My hands grip my napkin, twisting it under the table, its threads fraying like my composure. I try to change the subject, asking about her flowers, but Sadie's not letting go. She leans forward, her voice dripping with nostalgia, saying how we always shared everything growing up. Remember, Clara? You'd give me your best stuff, she says, her fingers brushing the necklace I gave her when we were teens. It's a cheap silver chain, but it meant the world back then. Now it feels like a weapon, a reminder of a bond she's twisting. My throat tightens. I want to scream that this isn't sharing, it's taking, but Mom's watching, her eyes pleading for peace. I swallow hard, muttering something about helping with the cake instead, but Sadie's smirk says she knows she's got me cornered. The room's chatter resumes, but I'm outside it, my fork heavy in my hand, the taste of dinner sour. After dinner, I'm helping clear plates when my cousin Marcus pulls me aside in the hallway. He's a scruffy musician, always broke but kind. His face is serious, and my stomach drops. He says Sadie's been telling everyone I'm hoarding my wealth, acting like I'm too good for the family. She told him I could solve all their problems if I wasn't so stingy, he says, his voice low. My jaw drops. Solve their problems. I've sent Mom money for years, paid for Sadie's college textbooks, even covered Marcus's rent once. My chest aches like someone's punched through it. I ask Marcus if he believes her. He shrugs, looking away, and that's answer enough. I'm shaking as I head back to the table, Sadie's laughter ringing in my ears. She's not just after my penthouse. She's rewriting who I am. The hallway's dim light feels like a spotlight exposing my isolation. I'm at Sadie's bridal shower, a pastel-drenched affair at a swanky Tacoma hotel. The room's packed with her friends, their laughter sharp and clinking glasses louder than I can handle. I'm in a corner clutching a mimosa, my dress feeling too tight. I came to support Sadie, to prove I'm not the selfish sister she's painted me as, but every glance her way twists the knife. She's radiant, twirling in a white sundress, while I'm shrinking under the weight of whispers. A woman I don't know, maybe a coworker of Sadie's, sidles up, her smile syrupy. So Clara, why won't you let Sadie use your penthouse? It's just a few weeks, she says, like it's her business. My face burns. I mumble something about logistics, but she's already walking away, shaking her head. I scan the room, catching more eyes darting toward me, their murmurs like static. Sadie's been talking, and they've all bought her story. The chandeliers above glitter, mocking my discomfort. I weave through the crowd, hoping to find a friendly face, but even Mom's preoccupied, fussing over gift bags. I spot Sadie by the dessert table, laughing with Nathan. He's got his arm around her, but his gaze lands on me, smug, like he's in on some joke. I overhear him telling a guest they'll have the best honeymoon, maybe even take over a penthouse soon. The room spins. Take over. My hands shake, spilling my drink. I set it down, trying to breathe, but Sadie's voice cuts through. She's telling a group how I've changed, how success made me cold. I used to be her best friend, she says, her voice catching just enough to sell it. The guests nod their pity for her like a blade in my gut. I want to scream that she's lying, but my voice is stuck, trapped behind years of keeping peace. The music's too loud, the room too bright, closing in. I escape to the bathroom, splashing water on my face, my reflection pale in the harsh light. Am I selfish? I've given so much. I dipped into my savings to cover half the floral bill for this wedding, even after Sadie's demands. I thought it'd show I care, that I'm still her sister. But it's not enough. Nothing is. My phone buzzes in my purse. It's an email, and my heart stops when I see Sadie's name in the sender line. It's a forwarded message to a realtor, accidentally CC'd to me. She's asking how to persuade me to sell my penthouse, saying it's too big for one person. Too big. This is my home, my proof I survived. My chest tightens like I'm drowning. I lean against the sink, the cold porcelain grounding me, but my mind's racing. She's not just spreading lies, she's plotting. The mirror reflects my trembling hands, a stranger's fear in my eyes. Back in the banquet hall, I'm numb, watching Sadie open gifts. A guest asks if I'm okay, and I nod, but my smile's brittle. I catch Mom's eye, hoping for a shred of support, but she looks away, her face tight. Even she's drinking Sadie's poison. I slip out early, driving back to Seattle, the highway a blur through tears I won't let fall. At home, I collapse on my bed, the silence deafening. Sadie's not just after my place. She's stealing my family, my name, my peace. Has family ever turned on you? Subscribe to see how I face this. The darkness outside my window presses close like it's holding my secrets. The wedding day is a blur of sunlight and roses, the venue a sprawling estate outside Seattle buzzing with 200 guests. I'm 32. Clara in a pale blue dress that feels like a costume, my smile plastered on. Sadie's radiant in white gliding through the crowd, and I'm trying to blend in, my heart pounding from weeks of her lies. The ceremony was flawless, her vows to Nathan's syrupy sweet, but every glance she throws my way feels like a warning. I sip champagne, avoiding Mom's gaze. Her silence at the bridal shower still stinging. The reception's in full swing, music thumping, and I'm near the edge of the dance floor, clutching a napkin, willing myself to stay calm. But Sadie's been circling, her laughter too loud, her eyes locking on me like a predator. I know something's coming and my stomach churns. The scent of roses is cloying, mixing with my unease. She weaves through the crowd, her veil trailing, and grabs my arm, pulling me onto the dance floor. The band's playing something upbeat, but her grip is tight, her smile forced. "You're ruining this for me, Clara," she hisses, her breath hot against my ear. I blink confused, trying to laugh it off, but her face is stone. "You couldn't just give me the penthouse, could you?" Her voice is low, venomous, and my chest tightens. I stammer, saying this isn't the place, but she cuts me off, her words slicing. "You're so selfish, always keeping everything for yourself." My mouth goes dry. The music's still going, couples swaying around us. But it's like we're in a bubble, her anger suffocating me. I try to pull away, but she holds firm, her nails digging into my wrist, sharp enough to leave marks. Then it happens. Sadie steps back, her face twisting, and before I can move, her hand cracks across my cheek. The slap echoes sharp and surreal, silencing the chatter nearby. My face burns, my vision blurring as 200 pairs of eyes turn to us. Gasps ripple through the crowd, phones lifting to record. I'm frozen, my hand on my cheek, the sting radiating through me. Sadie's glaring, her chest heaving, and she yells, "You've never cared about me, Clara. You're a terrible sister." Her words hit harder than the slap, each one a betrayal of every late-night talk, every tear we shared. The crowd murmurs, some nodding like they believe her, and my knees wobble. Lily, the tiny flower girl in a puffy dress, tugs my hand, her voice small. "Why's she so mean?" she asks, and my throat closes, shame swallowing me whole. Her small fingers feel like the only real thing in this nightmare. I want to run, to scream, to tell them she's lying, but my feet are glued to the floor. Nathan's nearby, his smirk barely hidden like he's enjoying the show. Mom's at a table, her head turned away, unwilling to meet my eyes. The band keeps playing, oblivious, but the air's thick, every whisper a needle in my skin. My cheek throbs, but it's my heart that's breaking, years of love for Sadie crumbling under her rage. I'm alone in this sea of faces, exposed, humiliated, and I don't know how to fight back. All I know is this moment. This pain is changing everything. The lights above blur, and I feel the weight of every stare like I'm shrinking under it. I stumble off the dance floor, my cheeks still burning from Sadie's slap, the crowd's whispers chasing me. My legs carry me to a quiet corner near the venue's garden where fairy lights cast soft shadows. I sink onto a bench, my dress catching on the wood, tears spilling before I can stop them. The music from the reception feels miles away, but the weight of 200 staring eyes clings to me. I wrap my arms around myself, trying to hold it together, but my mind's replaying every cruel word Sadie spat. Her voice, her rage, it's not new, but this public unraveling is. I see our childhood in flashes, her taking my things, my smiles hiding the hurt. Was it always leading to this? My chest aches like something vital's been ripped out. The night air is cool, but it can't soothe the fire in my veins. Nathan's laughter cuts through the haze. He's near the bar, clinking glasses with his groomsmen, his eyes glinting as he glances my way. He leans in saying something that makes them chuckle, and I know it's about me. My stomach lurches. He's not just complicit, he's reveling in my humiliation. I wipe my face, but the tears keep coming, smudging my mascara. Mom's silhouette appears in the distance, her back to me, chatting with guests like nothing happened. Her refusal to look at me is worse than Sadie's slap. I've always been the one to fix things to keep our fractured family whole, but now I'm the outcast, the villain in Sadie's story. My hands shake, clutching the bench as shame and anger coil tighter. The garden's quiet hum feels like a betrayal, nature indifferent to my pain. Then Harold, my neighbor, steps out of the crowd, his gray hair catching the light. He's a retired judge, always calm, but his face is grim now. He saw it all, he says, his voice low, steady. That wasn't right, Clara. You don't deserve this. His words are kind, but they land like stones. Deserve? I don't know what I deserve anymore. He mentions legal steps, something about protecting myself, but it's too much too soon. I nod, barely hearing him, my eyes catching Sadie's wedding band as she dances nearby. It's engraved with our old secret phrase, sisters forever, a promise we made under a blanket fort. Seeing it now gleaming on her finger feels like a final betrayal, a mockery of everything I held dear. The fairy lights flicker their glow cold against my skin. The garden air is cool, but I'm suffocating my thoughts, a tangle of pain and disbelief. Guests pass by, their pitying glances slicing deeper. Some whisper their words, drifting over selfish, ungrateful. My throat burns, my heart pounding so loud, I'm sure they hear it. Harold stays close, his presence a small anchor, but it's not enough. Sadie's won this round, stripping me bare in front of everyone I know. I'm not just hurt. I'm erased, my love for her turned to ash. I sit there hollow, the world spinning on without me, and I don't know how to stand up again. Ever been publicly betrayed, like if you felt this pain? I'm back in my penthouse 3 days after Sadie's wedding, the silence heavy around me. My cheek doesn't sting anymore, but the memory of her slapped the crowd's stares, Nathan's smirk. It's all carved into me. I'm Clara, 32, and I've been curled up on my couch replaying that night, my heart raw. Harold's words in the garden linger, his calm voice cutting through my fog. You don't deserve this. I didn't sleep last night, my mind churning, but today something shifts. I can't keep drowning in this. I need to move, to do something, anything to reclaim my ground. My hands stop shaking as I pick up my phone and dial Harold. He answers, his tone steady, and I ask to meet. I'm not sure what I'm ready for, but I know I can't stay still. The morning light filters through my curtains, pale but resolute, urging me forward. We sit in his small apartment across the hall, his dog snoring at our feet. The room smells of coffee and old books, grounding me. Harold's eyes are kind but sharp, like he sees through my hesitation. He lays it out plain. Sadie's actions weren't just cruel, they're dangerous. He mentions a restraining order, says it could protect me and my penthouse. My stomach twists. A legal fight against my sister. It feels like betraying the kid I used to braid hair for the one I promised to always protect. But then I think of her hand on my face, her lies about me, and my jaw tightens. I tell Harold I'm scared of losing Mom for good, of breaking what's left of our family. He nods, saying family doesn't mean letting someone destroy you. His words hit deep, like permission to stop apologizing for existing. His dog stirs, nudging my hand, a small comfort in the weight of his advice. I leave his place, my head buzzing, and spend the afternoon pacing my living room, the Seattle skyline gray outside. I dig out my laptop and start researching, my fingers trembling but determined. I find a lawyer, Rachel, whose website promises fierce advocacy. I book a consultation, my heart pounding as I hit send. It's a small step, but it feels like jumping off a cliff. Later, I meet Rachel at her office downtown, a sleek space with views of the Sound. She's all business, her dark hair pulled back, but her questions are gentle. I spill everything Sadie's demands, the slap, the realtor emails. Rachel's eyes narrow when I mention the penthouse. She asks for any proof, and I show her the forwarded email Sadie sent by mistake. Rachel leans back, saying Sadie's been trying to forge claims to my property, passing off old family photos as proof of shared ownership. My breath catches. Forge. The word feels like a brick, heavy and real. The office's quiet hum steadies me, but my hands grip my chair, bracing for what's next. Rachel says we can build a case starting with a cease and desist letter. It's not a full war, but it's a line in the sand. I nod, my voice quiet but steady. Let's do it. For the first time since the wedding, I feel a spark not of anger but of resolve. I'm not just fighting for my home. I'm fighting for the Clara who worked nights to earn it, who deserves to feel safe. Back home, I stand at my window, the city sprawling below. I'm not naive. This won't fix Sadie or bring Mom back. But it's my stand, my choice, and it's waking something in me I thought I'd lost. The skyline's edges blur in the dusk, but my resolve sharpens a quiet fire growing inside. The next morning, I'm at a small cafe downtown, the smell of espresso sharp in the air. My hands are steady as I wait for Sadie Tessa beside me, her presence a quiet shield. I'm Clara, 32, and I've decided to face my sister head-on, something I've never done. Rachel's cease and desist letter is in my bag, but this isn't about legal threats yet. It's about looking Sadie in the eye and drawing a line. My pulse races, but it's not fear, it's clarity. Sadie walks in her hair. Perfect, Nathan nowhere in sight. She slides into the booth, her smile tight like she's humoring me. I don't smile back. I lay out the evidence, my voice, even the realtor email her forged, claims her lies about me. I tell her to stop, to leave my home alone. Her laugh is sharp, cutting. You're paranoid, Clara, she says, leaning back. Nobody's taking anything. The cafe's chatter fades, her words ringing in my ears. Tessa shifts, her phone hidden, but recording, catching every word. I don't flinch even as Sadie's eyes flash with something cruel. She leans forward, her voice low. You've always thought you're better than me, she says. That penthouse should be ours, not just yours. Ours. The word twists in me, but I don't break. I think of the nights I worked until dawn, the years I scraped by while Sadie flitted through life, always wanting more. I tell her the penthouse is mine, earned, and she has no claim. Her smirk fades, and for a second I see the little girl who cried when Dad left, but it's gone fast. She stands tossing her hair, saying, I'll regret this. Tessa's hand brushes mine under the table, a small anchor, as Sadie storms out the cafe door, slamming behind her. The sound echoes sharp like a warning. Back home, my phone rings. It's Mom, her voice trembling, begging me to drop this fight. Sadie's her baby, she says, and I'm tearing the family apart. My chest tightens, but I'm done bending. I tell her I'm protecting myself, something she should have done for me. She hangs up and the silence stings, but it's not crushing anymore. I call a locksmith, my voice firm as I schedule new locks for my penthouse. While waiting, I find a box under my bed, old letters and photos from Sadie and me laughing in pigtails. My throat catches, but I slide it back unopened. That Clara loved without limits. This one knows better. The locksmith's tools clank a steady rhythm as I watch him work, my resolve hardening. The locksmith finishes, handing me new keys, their weight solid in my palm. I stand in my doorway, the Seattle skyline dark outside. I'm not the sister who shares everything anymore. I'm the woman who fought for this view, this life. My fingers trace the new lock, cold and sure. I'm not whole yet, but I'm not broken either. Have you ever stood up to family subscribe to see what happened next? The city's lights pulse, a quiet promise that I'm still here, still standing. I'm in a courtroom 2 months after confronting Sadie. My hands clasped tight in my lap. The air smells of polished wood and stale coffee, and I'm Clara, 32, feeling like I'm holding my breath. The judge, a woman with steel gray hair, reviews papers as Rachel, my lawyer, sits beside me, her posture calm but fierce. Sadie's across the room, her face pale, no trace of the smirk she wore at the cafe. Nathan's not here, and that absence feels like a clue I can't yet read. Harold's in the gallery, his nod steadying me. My heart's pounding, not from fear, but from the weight of being here fighting my sister in a place I never imagined. Rachel warned me it'd be quick, but every second stretches heavy with what I'm about to lose. The courtroom's silence presses against me, its walls too close. The judge calls my name, her voice crisp, and I stand my knees unsteady. Rachel presents our case. Sadie's forged documents, her realtor emails the public assault at the wedding. Harold testifies, his words measured describing the slap, the crowd's shock. The judge's eyes narrow, and I feel a flicker of hope, but it's tangled with grief. Sadie's lawyer argues she was emotional, that the penthouse was a misunderstanding, but the evidence is stark. The judge rules swiftly, a restraining order against Sadie, her claims to my property dismissed. My shoulders sag, relief flooding me, but it's bittersweet, like swallowing medicine that burns. I've won, but the cost is sitting right there in Sadie's clenched jaw, her eyes avoiding mine. The gavel's echo lingers, a sound both final and hollow. I leave the courtroom, the hallway cold and echoey. Rachel squeezes my arm, saying we did it, but I'm numb. Outside, Marcus waits, his guitar case slung over his shoulder. He's been distant since Sadie's lies, but now he steps forward, his voice low. "I'm sorry, Clara," he says. "I believed her for too long." His apology is raw, and I nod, too tired to speak. We walk to a nearby diner, the smell of fries grounding me. Over coffee, Marcus admits Sadie's rumors hurt him too, made him feel small. I see my own pain in his eyes, and it's a strange comfort knowing I'm not alone. But then my phone buzzes. It's a text from Mom. "You've gone too far. I'm done with you." My chest caves, her words sharper than Sadie's slap. The diner's warmth fades, and I grip my mug, its heat no match for this chill. I stare at the message, the diner's chatter fading. Mom's chosen Sadie, just like I feared. I set the phone down, my hands steady but my heart splintering. Marcus watches silent, and I know he gets it. The victory in court was mine, but this loss is deeper, a root pulled up. I sip my coffee, the bitterness matching the ache inside. The restraining order protects my home, but it can't shield me from this emptiness, this family I can't hold together anymore. I'm free, but I'm also alone, and the weight of that truth freezes me where I sit. The diner's clock ticks, slow and relentless, marking time I can't reclaim. The diner's fluorescent lights hum above me, and I'm still staring at Mom's text, her words like a door slamming shut. I'm Clara, 32, and the courtroom victory feels hollow now, the restraining order a thin shield against this new wound. Marcus sips his coffee across from me, his eyes soft but unsure, like he's waiting for me to break. I don't. I slide my phone into my purse, the motion deliberate, and ask him about his music, anything to keep moving. He talks, but I'm only half listening, my mind snagged on the ripple effects of my stand. Sadie's world is unraveling too, I learn later that day. Her social media, once a glossy parade of wedding prep, is quiet now. A friend texts me a screenshot her followers are turning, calling her out after the court ruling leaked online. I scroll through the comments, a mix of pity and scorn, and feel no joy, just a dull ache. The diner's noise feels distant, like I'm underwater watching my life shift. Back home, I'm on my couch when Tessa calls, her voice urgent. Nathan left Sadie. She says something about bad publicity tanking his deals. I picture Sadie alone, her perfect life cracking, and my throat tightens. I should feel vindicated, but all I see is the girl who clung to me during thunderstorms, her small hand in mine. I set my phone down, my apartment too quiet, the Seattle skyline a muted gray. Was this what I wanted? I protected my penthouse, my peace. But the cost is a family I can't reclaim. My fingers trace the couch's fabric, grounding me, but my heart's adrift. Leo. My coworker texts next, inviting me to a low-key dinner with our team. They heard about the court case, he says, and want to cheer me up. I hesitate, then agree, craving something solid, something mine. The skyline outside flickers, a faint pulse of life. At the dinner, Leo's laugh fills the small restaurant, and my coworker's warmth wraps around me like a quilt. They don't pry, just share stories, their banter pulling me out of my head. I smile, a real one, but it fades when I check my mail later. There's an envelope, no return address, just my name in careful script. Inside a letter from an anonymous wedding guest, someone who filmed Sadie's slap. They're sorry for staying silent. They write, but my strength inspired them. I read it twice, my eyes stinging. Strength, I feel like I'm crumbling, holding pieces of a life I didn't choose. I tuck the letter away, its weight, both comfort and burden, and stand at my window, the city sprawling below. I've won, but I've lost too, and the silence of that truth settles deep, heavy, unyielding. Ever won a hard fight? Like if you've reclaimed your peace. The night wraps around me, quiet but heavy with truth. I'm on my penthouse balcony 6 months after the courtroom, the Seattle sunset painting the sky in soft pinks. I'm Clara, 32, and I'm sanding down an old wooden table I found at a flea market, my hands steady sawdust dusting my jeans. This place feels like mine again, not just a battleground. I've been stripping away the old varnish of my life layer by layer in therapy sessions that started shaky, but now feel like breathing. My therapist, a quiet woman named Ellen, has me untangling the knots of Sadie's betrayal, Mom's rejection, and my own guilt. I'm learning that protecting myself isn't selfish, it's survival. The table's grain is smooth under my fingers, and I smile, small but real. I'm rebuilding not just furniture, but me. The breeze carries a hint of salt from the sound, grounding me in this moment. I set down the sandpaper and wipe my brow, the city's hum soft below. I've started small rituals like this one, refinishing things, making them new. My balcony's got a tiny herb garden now, basil and mint sprouting in clay pots I painted myself. It's not much, but tending them feels like tending my own roots, ones I didn't know I'd neglected. I think about Marcus, my cousin, who showed up last week with his guitar and a shy grin. We sat right here, him strumming soft chords, me sketching in a notebook. He talked about his own scars from Sadie's lies, how she'd pitted us all against each other. His music was raw, and I saw my pain in his, but also hope. I drew a design inspired by his melody, bold lines and soft curves, and it felt like creating again, like waking up. The sunset's glow warms my skin, a quiet promise of renewal. Inside my phone sits quiet. No texts from Mom, no word from Sadie. Therapy's taught me to sit with that silence, to let it be without rushing to fill it. I've stopped checking Sadie's social media, stopped waiting for an apology that might never come. Instead, I'm finding my own rhythm. I water my herbs, their green tips bright against the dusk, and think about the years I spent giving too much, trying to glue our family together. I don't hate Sadie, not anymore. Her jealousy, her anger, that's her weight to carry. I'm lighter now, not because the pain's gone, but because I'm choosing what to hold. The city's lights begin to twinkle, a map of possibilities I'm just starting to see. I lean on the balcony railing, the air cool against my skin. Marcus's visit reminded me I'm not as alone as I thought. There's a steadiness growing in me, a quiet strength I didn't see coming. I pick up a paintbrush, dipping it in sage green for the table, and hum a tune Marcus played. The brush moves slow, deliberate, like I'm painting my way into a new kind of peace, one stroke at a time. The skyline shimmers, and I feel its pulse, a rhythm I'm finally matching. I'm in my penthouse kitchen, the morning light spilling across the counter a week after Marcus's visit. I'm Clara, 32, stirring cream into my coffee, the spoon clinking soft against the mug. My herbs on the balcony are thriving, their scent drifting in, and I'm different too. Steadier, like I've shed a heavy coat. Tessa and Leo threw me a surprise birthday party last night, right here with Harold and Rachel joining in. Their laughter filled my home, their stories weaving a warmth I hadn't felt in years. I'm not used to being the center, not for joy, but their hugs, their clinking glasses, they reminded me I've built something real, a family not bound by blood, but by choice. I sip my coffee, the bitterness soft now, and let that sink in. The morning's quiet hum feels like a gift, a space I've carved for myself. I heard through Marcus that Sadie's struggling, her lavish life unraveling, no Nathan, no spotlight. Part of me wants to reach out to fix her like I always did, but I don't. Therapy's shown me that saving her isn't my job. I set my mug down, my fingers brushing a sketch I pinned to the fridge, a simple line drawing of my penthouse. its edges bold, unapologetic. I drew it after the party late at night when the quiet felt full, not empty. It's not just a building, it's what I fought for, what I chose. I smile small and tape it higher, a quiet claim on my space, my story. The sunlight catches the sketch, its lines glowing with purpose. My phone buzzes an email from Aunt Gloria, Mom's sister, who I haven't seen in years. She's heard about the court case the family split and urges me to reconcile with Sadie to heal the rift. Her words are gentle, but they land like a stone. I sit at my table, the wood still faintly smelling of paint, and write back. I'm polite, clear, I'm at peace, but I'm done carrying that weight. I hit send, my breath slow, and feel a release like untying a knot I didn't know was there. Gloria means well, but my heart's not hers to steer. I've learned to guard it, not out of anger but love for myself. The coffee's warmth lingers in my hands, a small anchor in my new rhythm. I step back onto the balcony, the city waking below, and lean against the railing, my coffee warm in my hands. The skyline's sharp, the world moving on, and I'm part of it, not chasing, not hiding. I close my eyes, the breeze cool, and listen to the hum of morning traffic, my herbs rustling nearby. I'm not fixed, not whole, but I'm here standing tall in my own life, and that's enough for now. Found peace after pain. Subscribe to hear my final lesson. The city's pulse feels like my own, steady and alive. I'm in my penthouse a year after Sadie's wedding, the morning light soft through my windows. I'm Clara, 32, sitting at my desk, a new design project spread out, colored pencils scattered like confetti. The air smells of fresh paper and the lavender candle I lit, a small ritual I've started. My life's quieter now, not empty but full in a way I'm still learning to trust. I've been going to therapy every Tuesday, peeling back layers of hurt, finding a Clara who doesn't apologize for her space. My fingers trace a sketch, a logo for a local bookstore, and I feel a hum of pride, not for the work, but for the woman who's showing up to do it. The sunlight dances on my desk, a gentle nudge to keep going. I've built new habits, small anchors in my days. Mornings start with tea, now steeped slow in a mug I chose because it felt sturdy in my hands. I walk to a nearby park most evenings, watching kids chase dogs, their laughter stitching something in me back together. Last week I joined a pottery class on a whim, my hands clumsy in clay. But the mess felt honest, like I'm shaping more than pots. I think about the courtroom sometimes, Mom's text cutting me off, Sadie's slap. They're not gone, but they're not my center anymore. I've stopped looking for their approval, stopped measuring my worth by their love. The park's green smells linger in my memory, a reminder of life beyond my pain. Marcus drops by sometimes, his guitar always with him, and we talk about everything but Sadie. He's chasing gigs, and I'm cheering him on, our bond mending slow like a bruise fading. Tessa and Leo are constants too, their texts a steady pulse of care. I hosted a dinner here last month, just the three of us with takeout and bad wine. We laughed until my sides ached, and I realized I'm not just surviving, I'm living. My penthouse isn't a fortress anymore. It's a home filled with my choices, my colors. I glance at the wall where a small watercolor hangs, one I painted after a therapy session, all blues and golds, soft but bold. The canvas catches the light, its colors a quiet testament to my growth. I stand stretching and walk to my window, the Seattle skyline sharp against the dawn. I'm not the Clara who gave everything to keep others whole. I'm learning to give to myself, to see my own edges and call them enough. The city hums below, and I breathe deep, the weight of the past lighter like a book I've finally set down. I'm ready to turn the page to see what's next. The morning air feels crisp, like a new beginning waiting for me. I'm in my living room, the evening soft, a jazz record spinning low on my turntable. I'm Clara, 32, and I'm folding a letter that arrived today, its edges worn, Sadie's handwriting unsteady. It's an apology brief, half-hearted, saying she's sorry for the wedding, for everything. I read it once, then set it on the coffee table, my hands calm. I don't feel anger, not anymore, just a quiet distance. I don't write back, but in my mind, I wish her peace, a silent release of the weight I carried for her. I'm not the sister who fixes everything now. I'm the woman who chooses herself, and that choice has reshaped me steady and slow. The record's warm notes fill the room a melody of closure. Last weekend, I volunteered at a local shelter teaching kids to draw. One girl, shy with braids, clutched her sketch like a treasure, and her smile cracked something open in me. I saw Lily, the flower girl from the wedding, in her eyes, that small kindness that stayed with me. I came home and painted a canvas for the shelter, vibrant swirls of color, a gift that cost me nothing but felt like everything. Giving now feels different, not a sacrifice, but a choice rooted in my own strength. I think about Harold, his quiet wisdom, and Rachel, her fierce support. They're my people alongside Tessa, Leo, and Marcus, a circle I built from trust, not obligation. My life's not perfect, but it's mine, and that's a truth I hold close. The shelter's laughter echoes in my mind, a reminder of joy I can share. The record skips, and I lift the needle, the silence warm. I've learned something these past months, something therapy and time carved into me. Family isn't just who you're born to. It's who sees you, who stays when the masks fall. Sadie slapped Mom's silence. They broke me open, but the pieces I've put back together are stronger, shaped by my own hands. I don't need everyone to love me, just the ones who do it honestly. That's freedom, not the loud kind, but the quiet sort that lets you breathe deep and walk forward unburdened. The evening light softens, casting long shadows that feel like peace. I sit back, the city lights flickering outside, and feel a stillness like the world's holding its breath with me. What's the moment that set you free from someone else's story? I'd love to hear it in the comments below. If this story touched you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Thank you for listening, for being here. Here's to finding your own peace, one step at a time.